And now, Splunk's Cybersecurity 60-second charity challenge. Remember the rules. You've got to get through an entire subject in 60 seconds, or you donate to today's charity of choice. Good luck!
All right, so today's charity challenge has to do with Netflix and its crackdown on password sharing. So this has been a little bit vague. Netflix has said in the past and continually that they are going to eventually crack down on password sharing, but it's still a little bit unclear exactly how that's going to play out in the United States. So Netflix updated their US Help Center page about how this might look for customers, but then they took it back. I believe this was actually applying to its pilot program in Latin America, where they are actually trying to tie households to devices or to accounts rather, using like IP address or device IDs, account activities. So that way, if you log into a device that's not linked to your household, then you would have to verify who you are by using, a verification code to your phone or email. In the pilot program, it's unclear if that's exactly what's going to happen in the US in the coming months. There was also a note about potentially having to re-log into your account every month if you're not actively using it. So I wanted to ask you, Ryan and David, both of you, about your take on this, the vagueness from Netflix, the pilot program, and then also just password sharing in general. Like, what should people know about this in terms of, just general cybersecurity with sharing passwords? So not sure.
The one thing we'll call out here is, obviously this isn't a knock on Netflix at all. This is really around a conversation of the passwords, because that is our modern life, right? Is dealing with complex, long passwords, and what does that mean, and kind of expanding upon that, right? So no knock on Netflix at all for changing their T&Es. It's more surprising they hadn't done this 10 years ago than it is anything else, I think.
Yeah, and I think, the vagueness is part of the strategy, right? Because if they did this all at once across the board, I think there would be a lot more outrage, right?
Yep.
So having it be a gradual rollout, a pilot program, it makes sense from that point of view. But
that was their way of floating a Chinese spy trial balloon.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, thankfully, they did not muster the F-22s to shoot down that idea. So.
No, we saved that for Wizards of the Coast.
There we go. And we have a charity today, Audra, I believe.
Yes, so the charity that we selected this time is the International Medical Corps, and we did this because this organization is currently coordinating rescue and recovery efforts in Turkey after the large earthquakes this week, and also damage in Syria as well. So that is the charity this week.
And David, thank you again for donating ahead of time. Obviously, you're going to lose. And as a reminder, Splunk has a wonderful benefit of they match our donations. So it's $60 from us and then $60 matched by Splunk, which is a really great opportunity. David, as the challenger and most likely victor, I will let you select who goes first today.
You were just all over this. One sentence I'm going to win. The next sentence I'm going to lose.
I'm covering all my bases, baby. Straddling the fence.
You're like, look, I totally Nostradamus it. I got it. You know what? I will be gracious. I'll let you go first. I prefer to bet.
I was going to steal all your ideas and take credit for it, but sure, whatever. That's fine. Okay, let's see how I do with very little preparation today after a very busy afternoon or morning. Drew, let's get 60 seconds. So let's go. I think the critical part for me that I was impacted personally by this change is I find that when I travel, and I used to travel extensively, I often would bring my Netflix account with me depending on where I was in the world. In order to do that, I would have to log into a password, the system. I'd have to use my little controller and put it in. That inherently weakened my password because my normal 30-character long password phrase wasn't really suitable for a remote control. If we expand this past just the Netflix side of it, I personally think it's a step in the wrong direction away from a passwordless environment that we should be moving to with MFA authentication, various options there, rather than putting something static in. I think it does disincentivize having a more secured account for something that has my credit card information. Once again, no knock on Netflix for doing something right for their business as I see it, but I do find, and I do personally know, that I will have a weaker password for a streaming account that I have to primarily ingest a password with a remote than I would do if I was able to use an MFA or something like that. All right, David. To the victor goes the spoils. Or maybe not.
Well, in security, we say everyone should use their own accounts everywhere, but we're actually often forced into sharing. So, for example, my wife and I have a single PayPal account because we share credit cards and PayPal can't deal with it. Most companies actually suck at shared accounts. I'm always getting things shipped to my wife because PayPal, again, defaults to the last shipping info used and I forget to check. Sure, some allow multiple user profiles, but even then, if I just click on a show, I don't know whose profile I'm watching it under. Probably whoever watched something last. Don't even get me started on typing passwords on my remote. I just want to watch TV, not warm up for the US men's Thumb Olympics team. Thankfully, most of the streamers allow you to log in via your phone, but not all. The fact is, many companies are using decades old sharing playbooks. Companies, let's do what we need to do for you to make money while making account sharing easier for your customers.
Wow, with time
He
to
was
spare.
so confident. The arrogance. The arrogance. Just 5 seconds left, walks away, drops the mic on the stage.
It's only arrogance if I don't win.
We already have folks coming in. Riri 2, David wins.
Yes,
Audra,
I
do
agree.
you concur?
I agree.
I concur. I mean, it's just embarrassing. That was pathetic. Man, I think, yeah, Tick Tacos. Wow, David, +1. At this point, I don't even know if I should compete anymore. It's just going to be the David show. We're just going to bring David on for Charity Challenge, and I'll just pay. Is that embarrassing? And we do have a... Sorry, go ahead, David. More? Do you want to walk away and just rub my face in it now?
No, I just want to know if I can get your time too.
You didn't even use all of yours, so what would you do with it? Just stare in dominance?
Oh
Man, I had lots of jokes I had to cut for time.
And yet I was the biggest joke of all.